Pastor Gladys Boadi, an entrepreneur, pastor, and marriage counselor, for a deep and honest conversation about family, marriage, and the responsibility of raising the next generation.
The children that God gives us are not ours. They are ours for a season to raise, prepare, but we're supposed to set them free to go and explore this world, meet their own people, and continue. That is why the legacy you leave with your children is very important, because they will only carry it on what you've left with them. But then if you make life very uncomfortable for them, that they have to run away from you through rebellion, you've lost something. That means they're not going to take anything from you with them.
In a world where roles, expectations, and values are constantly shifting, Pastor Gladys shares powerful perspective on parenting, partnership, and the deeper purpose behind marriage.
These days, men are happy to see their wives work, and then they want to bring them and they'll be like, well, let's do 50-50. Why do you want a woman in your life? Are you wanting a woman because you feel like your mom is not there, she should come and do your cooking? If you are going to go to work, I'm also going to go to work. You cannot leave these things for me, this task, for me to be the only one to do it.
This conversation challenges how we think about legacy, love, and leadership in the home.
Marriage was designed by God?
Yes.
Or human interaction?
No, God designed it.
Marriage. So
Yes.
it's not a business transaction?
No, it can never be. People are making it, but that is not how God designed it.
I've been reading the comments and DMs, and they have filled with beautiful messages about how much you've enjoyed watching and listening to these conversations and how powerful the stories have been. But here's the problem. Over 90% of you watching are not yet subscribed, and I know you're watching. So please hit that subscribe button to join our podcast community and help us attain our goal of reaching 2,000 subscribers in the next 2 months. Thank you.
You see, everything is okay. And then you say you like them in prison more than online. They're not different from the originals. A little bit different because of culture and upbringing. But if we can go wrong to that extent, then we're going to look at things properly.
Could it then be said that, for me, you did mention something earlier, for the same crime, a local will get away with community service or whatever, or warning.
Mm-hmm.
But as a migrant, South African, because you're a good kid, you end up in jail.
Yeah, you're less of a troublemaker.
So they can keep you there, collect the funding, and make sure you're there, you're comfortable there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll paint everybody evil. Someone went to visit your friend of his as well. Same thing you said. And he started calling names of people he saw there as well.
Yeah, who gets shocked? Even myself, I didn't get a chance. I went there with Pastor Song to visit one guy, but when they booked, they had me. So I had to sit in the reception and wait for them. But when they came back, I was like, wow, the amount of people that I know that are there. Some of them, he thought they were actually, we were going on holiday or they're not here. And then they're there. That doesn't even make sense. You know? And the guy that he went to see is not the one telling him about all the people he has met while being there. And it's just shocking. You know, but it's what it is, to be honest, because at the end of the day, you see, the challenge, it's not with the children, it's with us who are stuck in our ways. We are stuck in our minds. We are stuck in our culture and system and stuff. And when I had the opportunity to speak at the OAC program, I was telling them that, look, it's about time we face reality, that there are some parts of our culture that are not so great.
Yeah.
You shouldn't pass it on. And there are some part of our culture that is excellent.
You were saying something about part of our culture that we need to face. Which part of those cultures, from your own understanding, should we have to do away with?
I mean, there are so many sides of our culture, depending on where you come from anyway. Because, we are all made from different tribes, right?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So most of our upbringing is based on your tribal values or your, all those things. And like one typical example I give is that in the African culture, if I can generalize, right, there's nothing like cheating when it comes to men. Men don't cheat. The tradition is such that if he can afford, he can go for as many women as he can handle. So you sit here and then you say, oh, I'm the wife, but then he's cheating with this one. Some people don't get that logic, right? And they don't see any wrongdoing. You see, but we are in Australia here, and then you want to use all these big technologies, and they're thinking, I didn't say I've divorced you. I'm just saying I'm adding one more because I can afford, and I'm within my rights to do it.
Is that tenable here in Australia?
Some people want to do that. So now here they will say, oh, their wife is there, but then this is a side chick, and the guy don't see no problem.
But realistically, is that possible in Australia?
People are doing it.
How are they doing it?
So they're doing that. That's the thing I was saying about this whole side chick thing that is going on at the moment.
So the wife is aware?
The wife knows that this guy is doing all this. So some women are very depressed about it because they feel like, I'm the one that have suffered with you and we have built this thing. You know, we built a family, we've built businesses, we've built all this wealth. And all of a sudden they are bringing in extra money to just come and enjoy my hard work, right?
Even in the same house?
No, I mean, no, some of them are not in the same house, but some people can go ahead and get apartments and things for the other woman. And they make it look like it's just like, I'm not doing anything to hurt you. It's like, you know, why are you stressing? I'm the one paying for it, you see. So where is your stress? And the whole concept is, people just don't understand it. But it's in some cultures, which is part of our African thing. And somebody feel like, if I have amassed this amount of wealth, why can't I have more than one woman? Why? I can have as many. You can have 4 kids for me, it's all right. I believe somebody else can top up with extra 2.
But should a man have, if he's capable, have more than one woman?
I personally don't believe that. I believe it's one man, one wife.
But because you're a Christian.
I'm a Christian. And even if I wasn't a Christian, I still don't believe in polygamy.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't, because the confusion is not worth it. the frustration is not worth it. Most of the time,
is it for you or for the general ideology around polygamy? Because for the people involved in it, that's the best thing that will ever happen to them.
That's what they will say, but the reality is that it still creates all those jealousy, envy among the children, the generations after. Most of the time, that's the thing. We think of ourselves and our pleasure for now. We're not looking at the long-term effect, how it's going to affect the children, how it's going to affect like everybody else that is involved. These women may look like, oh, no, we get along and we are human. Yeah, man. There comes a time where something will strike her. Hey, if I don't open my eyes, things might go this way or much. How are my children going to benefit to this or for, you know, all those things come into play.
There are instances where polygamy can be a good thing.
A good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, well. To some people.
Let's be
to
neutral now.
People.
Of course, I know you can't separate yourself from your faith, but let's, for a moment, are there instances where polygamy can be a good thing?
I don't know about that. To be honest, I don't see it to be a good thing though, because even you're saying we should be neutral and put Bible aside.
No, that's not what I said. I said
in Bible days, right? Even the men that had more than one wife, there was still confusion everywhere. Solomon is a classic example of having all these women, somewhere for all his political reasons, but still, in the end, they turned his heart. Like, I remember my dad told me, because my dad's firstborn, he had his wife and his kids, and then there was this woman that was widowed because she lost the husband, right? But she was still fairly young and stuff. And my brother was like, oh, this woman need help. You know, and she's a good woman. Maybe I can sort of marry her and add her to my wife, because my brother was dealing in gold. So he had money, let me put it that way. So it's like, oh, it shouldn't hurt anyone. And I just want to help this woman. She's a beautiful woman. She's just lost her husband. She's alone. And all those things to convince himself as to why he should bring this woman home, right? When he said that to my dad is like, I don't think this is a good idea. He said, oh, but the woman is humble, you know, she's so beautiful. I don't think she's going to be of any problem. Well, cut a long story short, he didn't listen. So he went ahead and married this woman and brought the woman home. What is the consequence? Well, that told him plainly, he said, look, if you decide to, managing one woman itself is not an easy thing. Now you want to go for 2. I hope you can manage that, because the stress that is going to bring you as the man, hopefully you can manage it, you see. Now, what stress did it bring my brother? The woman started competing. So the first wife already had, I think, 2 or 3 children already. And this new wife already had the daughter coming into the marriage. Now, all of a sudden, she feels like, if this woman have 3 kids, I haven't got any. If I don't catch up, inheritance come, I will not get anything. So then she started having kids, like at short intervals. You know how some people can do? And This first, I was also thinking, oh, I can't let this one come and have equal children with me. So now I become a competition. This one is having kids. This one is having kids. This one is like that. In the end, I think there are about how many? So many children. My brother died early. And my dad was like, look, it depends. Some people are lucky, maybe they put some things in place, but see, there's some part of humanity we can't deny. Jealousy. The jealousy we have, it comes from God himself who made us. Because he said he's a jealous God.
Good, yeah.
There's no way you can look at somebody like, I don't even know how to put it, but the realities are there. I'll leave it there. Because even eventually the competition between the children themselves, we also saw the question, what is the point? It's like either some of them will leave home, don't look back, or it gets too much.
So apart from polygamy, marry more than one woman, or cheating, or infidelity amongst the men, what other aspects of our culture you reckon we'll have to do away with?
No, there's so many different aspects of the culture that...
Let's speak as you're a Ghanaian from
a Ghanaian perspective.
Yeah.
Well, what can I even pinpoint? I think aside this one, that was the obvious one. But I think, to be honest, nothing comes to mind at this stage.
I'll give you one. So for many of us as migrants, oftentimes parents as well, fourth generation parents, they often believe, in this. I think we said something earlier about we're raising our kids here. The fact remains, we've come to Australia to stay. All right. Believe it or not, it's a sacrifice we'll have to make.
Yeah.
All right. And it's a price we'll have to pay for a better life, noting that our children are it is very unlikely that they will ever return back to home, Africa. So for us Nigerians, we always have this thing going in our head that we're going to return home. Or like our kids to return home. For those from part of the country where I come from, they build big houses at home. Once in a while they'll go to these places to live. Believing your children will come and live there and things like that. But unfortunately, the children may never step foot there. But it's still something we still carry on with. Or some even think, or they want their kids to get married to someone from the country, or at least someone from around Africa.
Yeah.
When reality is that your kids may not.
Yeah.
Very, very unlikely will marry a Nigerian. More likely will marry an African. They might be marrying someone else.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's
but
true.
It's not something we have accepted yet. And culturally, it's still a battle for many Africans, right? For the men, though.
No, I think that is I personally, I share the same view. I said to people, I said, the decision we made to come to Australia and to stay, for me, that is it too. I don't have plans to go and stay in Ghana. Ghana is a lovely place, and I would love to visit and return. The reality is that you see the way people work so hard and they're trying to build and do all those things. Even when people encourage me like, oh, why don't you come and open a branch of your restaurant here? You will do very well and all those. I'm like, no. There's no point. It doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. The monies in Africa don't travel to Australia. Some people say, yes, you can open a dollar account and all those things, please. The stress, is it really worth it? People live here temporarily because they believe they are living, they are going back. And they've been here 10 years, 20 years, still living temporal lives. Can't even believe it. Well, I said somebody have posted you here to just come and work for somebody else to benefit. It's wrong. And then we are raising our kids to have such a mindset. For me personally, I've been educating people. It comes down to education. We've got to sit down and ask ourselves certain important questions. You yourself, how often do you go home? And when you go, how long do you stay? The longest you can stay is how long? Some people can stay the longest to be like, maybe, for me at most, to be like a year. After a year, you'll be thinking of coming back, especially if you have business or you got to work or you have a family here. You can't stay away from your family too long. The longer, maybe 6 months, 3 months. But then if you decide to take your children with you for a holiday, the longest you can be, maybe 3 months. Even the 3 months after the first month, it will be, when are you going? I miss my friends. When are you going? When are you going home? When are you going back? You think you are home. They don't see themselves as being home. So all that investment, and the reality is, what makes you think they're interested in the house?
Never.
Maybe the size of it even scare them. What makes you think your child will end up in Africa? Some of them are planning to go live in Canada, Norway, all these places. Be like, why would you think like that? Think this way. Why are you thinking that way? But that is, you have to face these truths. As a parent, what you are praying is that, my child will do better than I did. But my child have the freedom to explore the world with no fear. But when we kind of put brakes on them as if you can go this far, but always come this way and don't try to do, what are we doing? The children that God gives us are not ours. They are ours for a season to raise, prepare, but we're supposed to set them free to go and explore the world, meet their own people, and continue. That is what the legacy you leave with your children is very important, because they will only carry it on what you've left with them. But then if you make life very uncomfortable for them, that they have to run away from you through rebellion, you've lost something. That means they're not going to take anything from you with them. Because if they are running away from you, what makes you think the things you have taught them they will carry along? Because they feel it to be either too restrictive, too unapplicable. It's not realistic. It doesn't make sense. It was all forced. Why should I do it?
You just hit a point here. One of the guests I've had, very recent guests, the conversation we had was mainly around, of course, identity, choosing his own path, and of course, choosing who to do life with as well. And from my understanding, from that conversation, I could deduce a bit of tension between what he wants and what his parents wants.
Typical. Typical African homes, most.
And in my head, I'm asking myself, this person loves what he's doing, loves the person he's choosing to do life with. Why can't the parents just accept that this person is an adult and he's not responsible for his own life and let him be? Why do you think we as Africans struggle with that? Because I still don't get it. Especially for the educated ones.
Oh, yeah.
Because unfortunately, the more educated we get, the harder it is for our views or our stance on certain things to change. Because we're talking about educated people, very educated people here.
Well, to be honest, I wish I had an answer for you. I don't. Probably it's attachment issues. I don't know. Everybody have their own way with they form attachment to people or form attachment to their children. Some people form this attachment to their children to the point where they don't want them to be out of their sight. They must be within reach. So it's good for their own mental health. So it's like some people are happy to even build a house and said, "Oh, this house is big enough. Bring your family and come and live on this side," because they still want it that close. But I think that would be one thing to explore. What is causing me to find, like, what is making it difficult for me to let go of my children, not let go of them as in I don't care, but permitting them to experience life. And not in a way that it will destroy them, but more of giving them that confidence to say, you have learned a lot from me. Like the mother eagle. Now fly, let me see how far you go. And if I know that you are someone sorting about to fall, also don't just I'll come and catch you, but I'll bring you up in a way where I want to see you fly. Because the more you are flying, the more you can also go and explore what is out there. And there will come a rainy day where this person will fly back because there's security, there's safety. I've been allowed to explore the world. The world is not a scary place. I can always come back if I need this thing, but I can always fly away. But when it has to come through rebellion, like, I know my parents will not agree, but what, I can't help it. They just have to go far from them. And I've been asking most parents, I said, is that what you dream of, though? That your child, every time as they're living with you, they are counting the days. When I get to that independence stage, I'm out of here. And in fact, you will not even hear of me. You'll be lucky if you can hear of me, bad boy. And there are people that live like that. They will not call home to even tell their parents how their life is going. Most of the time, the mothers will be struggling with the absence of the child. The father will be struggling, but he will never demonstrate it. And the child will be like, oh, they don't even care. So it's like now even reinforcing the fact that they don't care. And the parents are thinking, he's our child. He should know that he should return, and we are here. And come on, man. It gets to a time where we just have to, the parent role, as we grow, it changes.
Changes.
Changes from you being that disciplinarian to like it rolls until you get to that point where you have to be the friend, the mentor, the confidant. Can your children confide in you though? Are they scared to tell you things? Or
What are the
can they tell you
various-
things?
There's a point you just made, and I want to stress on that, and then I'll take you back to where we'll start from officially. Now, a child 0 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 15 to 18. If you can, in quick succession, itemize what role should the parent, especially the father, play in the child of this what role should father play in the life of this child at these various stages in life?
Oh
So
my God.
one is 0 to 5, stage 2, 6 to 10, stage 3, 11 to 15, stage 4, 16 to 18, 19, 20.
Wow. To be honest, I don't have keywords for you. Just left my head, but you know, as for me, what I would say is from 0 to 5. As a parent, you know, your role here is being the if I can use the word protector, right?
Yep.
Providing that protection, that safety net for the child, that security that the child needs, so they are able to grow in confidence. They form good attachment with you. They understand you're always there within arm's reach. When I cry, they are there for me. And then as they progress, you know, now
6
I
to
think
10?
even 6 to 10, we are still within that same
Protector.
kind of thing, because you are helping them. They haven't found themselves yet. They are still working their way there. And then
11 to
coming
15.
to 11 to 15 is where now we are looking at puberty is setting in, you know. So then we are like more playing the role of what word can I use here? Like
Guardians.
guidance, guardian there, educator, because now a lot of visible changes are happening in their lives that they need someone to educate them about what is happening. How come all of a sudden I'm changing, like physically I'm changing? What else do I have to expect? Because it can be very overwhelming and anxiety driven for a lot of the kids. So at that age, you, the parent, have to be there to educate the child about what is going on, guide them through the processes that they are going to manage. Because it's like I said, they are not used to it, they don't know it. So imagine if you are ignorant. How are you going to help this child? When they get to that teen years where they are trying to find themselves, the identity confusion, who am I? You know, or trying to fight for that independence. You know, then that is where you want to play the role, like maybe the mentor or the coach or
So
the
that would
role
be
model.
16 to
you
18,
know.
19.
So you're working alongside this child as a coach. You're only coaching, but the talent is with them. So you're helping them to discover who they are. You're helping them to discover their voice. You're helping them to be, because from here on, they are coming into adulthood.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that by the time they reach the adulthood, they are confident young people, you know. If it's a daughter, she's a confident young girl. She's reached all her milestones. She's not scared of life. If it's a guy, the same way. They know they have a voice in the family. Some people, even at that age, they are still being shush. Oh, you're talking to one, you're doing this. So they will grow without learning how to find their own voice, because every time they are not allowed to explore who they are becoming. You know, their true personality as it's coming out, you know. So as a parent, you are working alongside this child. Now you are coaching. After the time they reach, like, let's say maybe 18, 19, 20, you're in Australia as an adult. Now you want to be more like a friend, but still in the coaching. So you kind of switch all these hats. There are times where you are the parent, so you are playing that mentorship role, that coaching role. But there are times where you also want to be the friend where they can just come and say, they can even use a slang, so is it terms like, hey dad, or hey mom, what's up, you know, that kind of thing. And it'll be like, this child is so disrespectful. Me, as if I'm referring to like that. As against,
Yes, typical African.
hey buddy, what's happening? Oh yeah, let me know. So then you are beginning to connect with the child on that level where they can run to you freely and talk about everything. So that friendship remains all through and through, because now soon they are going to be independent, about to leave, but they can pick the phone and say, hey dad.
Where do you, along, this stuff we've got mentioned today, which of this do you think as parents were lacking the most?
I think
Out of
when
this
they get
five,
to
4 of
that
it.
puberty age is
Should I
where
be guidance and educator?
they
A pre-
are. It's where they start to lose the plot, because then with that identity confusion, when they're starting to come through, it's a nightmare for most parents. They don't expect that to come.
Could it be because they themselves might, it could be trauma response where they probably haven't found themselves.
It's like
So if you haven't dealt with who you are as an adult, as a parent, how would you be able to guide your kid as well?
or if you were not
allowed, yeah.
there was a lot of suppression, like you can't do this, you can't do this. There's so many you can't, because of the fear of the unknown. I don't want you to go out there and become like that. I don't want you to do what.
But that's the reality of for many of us as well as migrants. Growing up, let's talk about this. Growing up, we experience a whole lot of this, and I mean, no grudge. I've not bearing any grudge, against my parents and things that they did what they did based on what they knew and stuff like that. But how do we intentionally unlearn all of this?
Oh, well, that's how we are in Australia. Australia will force you to learn some things.
Does it?
Well, yeah, because the thing is, when you see what is going on in the community, right? You see what is going on with our youth and our young people now. It forces you to change style. How to change your parenting style. You got to be able to start to walk alongside this child and give yourself permission to enter into their world, and allow them to also permit you to enter into their world. That will force you to overlook certain things. You know how you have those default settings of what respect is supposed to look like?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have to be like, all right, at least that allow me to talk to this child. It's enough. When I get in there, then I'll work out, why is it so important for you to do these things or address me this way or do that way? If I realize it causes no harm, it kind of softens the atmosphere. It doesn't change anything from me. I just have to go with the flow, because then the objective changes. As long as I get to keep my child, I get my child to listen, or I get my child closer, it's enough. Then we come up with all these strict rules that eventually we're thinking that we are holding on to the children, but we are losing them because they haven't experienced what freedom looks like. Now they come on this side here. Anything that smells like freedom, which means the parents are not in my eyes every day. They are not here. They are not here to say don't do. They are far away. Oh my God, what a freedom! They go off tangent. They do all manner of things because they feel like, oh, let me try this. Let me try this. Oh, this one I never get to try. Let me try. And sometimes in the trying, because they're not experienced. It's like a child that has been kept in the house for so long to not go out, to meet people, all those things. They lack social skills, right? When they go to boarding school and then they meet this one wild child, and then they say, oh, I like you. Oh, you don't seem to know anything. Oh, let me show you this. Strangely, that wild child will go to school and finish. This other child here will fall pregnant and leave school because they're not experienced. Everything looks like, oh my God. Okay, it's like a new thing I found, but I don't know how to find their way through life. But this wild one knows how to go in and come out, just like going to boarding school. There are some students that will jump the fence. They will never be caught. They will never be suspended. The innocent child who joined this group, only recent, jumps the fence and they are caught and they are suspended for 3 weeks. And you're like,
I give an example. So when I was in when I was in school, I didn't go to boarding school. I went to this government school, and it was funny. We just moved into this state, Enugu State. So it was this school, a beautiful school, wonderful school. I moved from Lagos. I was a Lagos boy. Moved to Enugu. Enugu is this laid-back town, cold city, just like Perth. And with Lagos, you got this vibe. If you're a Lagos boy, you got different vibe. You see looked at differently. So I came into this school. I brought with myself this Lagos vibe. So I did this stuff for my parents. It was different. It was cool. And for everything that happened, me was one they picked. Now, there were bad boys in that school. I wasn't bad. I knew I wasn't bad. But I just had this Lagos cool vibe coming in. And I did that. And the principal picked on that.
wow.
And suspended me.
Imagine.
Oh, good. What am I going to tell my dad? He's going to kill me, like. But I didn't know what to do. Now, guess what? My dad surprised me, honestly. And so I went home that day. meet, like, during the day. Well, I was meant to be back at 4-5. By 12, I was home.
Hmm.
And Dad got back. Why are you home early? I didn't know what to say, but obviously I had to tell him I've been suspended. And that's what did I do? I was scared to tell him.
Was.
But I told him eventually what I did. He looked at it. Is that what you did? I said, yes. Is that all you did? I said, yes. No, you're lying. Is this like you were suspended for this? I said, let's go to school together.
Hey.
He surprised. I thought he was going to kill me.
And my
The school fee
grandpa.
was expensive. So he literally put us in that school. Like, and the story was long ago. We had to force him to put us in that school. So he went to school with me. Went to the principal. Like, you suspended him. I want to know what happened. I don't think he's saying the truth. What did he do? So the principal said the same thing. That I ripped my trouser and I was like a bad example for other kids. It's like, so out of everything you could have suspend him for, it was just he ripped his trouser. Couldn't you have flogged him? That wasn't having it. I was reinstated.
Of course, no one will accept that.
You know? So when he just said, I was like, yeah, everybody will do everything, but the day you try it,
You try it.
that's the day you're gonna get suspended.
Yeah. You know. And for some people, they are not used to freedom. Because freedom looks like it's different to everyone, depending on your upbringing. You know, and some people, like I was saying, they pray to get to that independent stage where they can be independent of the parent. And they will choose to go far. Well, you can't reach them even by phone. There's a choice. They'll tell you, "Oh, I was busy. I saw your missed call. I will be after how many weeks?" So they will, of course,
It's really sad,
they're actually making the decision
to go away
to
from
go
you.
far from you. So then the question is, what are you doing? As a parent, what is your goal for raising your children? Are you raising them that they're only praying to run away from you? Or you are raising them that they'll be a little version of you? So whatever the values you have carried, you want to see them live it and also raise their attitude. So it's like your generation, there's something that's running through the generations, the family. I asked parents, I had opportunity to speak to someone, I was telling them, I said, look, like we Christians, for example, we most of us, our parents pray, our moms pray a lot, right? But the question is, has our mothers told us why they pray the way they do? And have they taught us the way they pray so that we can carry that legacy on? Is it going to be just a saying, oh, my mom was a prayer warrior. My mom was a prayer warrior for the whole family. My mom prays for all of us. Do you pray like your mom? Oh, no, I don't even know. As for my mom, for her, that was like a contract. She was the one praying for everyone. Do you pray like your mom? I didn't even know most of the time. I didn't even know what she was praying about, but she was always busy going to church and doing that is not legacy. That is not, because when you die with it. Your children are not going to carry it on. Why would they? They don't understand what you are doing. We pray the way we pray. Maybe you know that the family is difficult. There's some witches, or there's some generational something running through the family. So you are praying that it will not come to your children. Have you actually explained to the children why you do what you do? Most of the day, you're asking me about some of the things in our culture that is not good. Too much secrecy. There are so many things our parents know very well. They will guard it nicely, but they will never explain the details to the children. So when they die, if it's about all these ritual things, the repercussions start to now run through the family, and then the children have no clue what is happening. They can only say, Dad used to pour libation in this corner. I don't even know what the whole thing was about. It was just like every year before Christmas, you just go in one corner and you'll be saying all those things. People will be like, about me, I didn't pay attention. Oh, my mom used to pray a lot. As for my mom, she will be going to church here, church there. Every day you go and maybe take this package of things to the church or to the pastor or something, but she just loved to give, so that was normal.
But for which fault is it then? The kid or the mom or the parents in this case? Noting that the kid, for a parent, we're talking about we as migrants here in Australia, so we've moved. For many of us, you understand, most of the things we pray about, but not really because okay, I'll put it this way. Most of the things we pray about was mainly based on a dysfunctional system. Not necessarily because sometimes you're being chased by a demon. I'll say, for instance, where we come from, you pray for power. You get on the road, you pray for the traffic light. Or you're praying for no accidents, not to have accidents. You're praying for some weird things like that. And then come into the system, you don't need to pray to get electricity. You don't need to pray to get a job. In some cases, maybe. But I leave my house and I'm going from point A to point B. I know the road is good. I know I won't encounter armed robbers or kidnappers or whatever. I don't need to pray for those things. So for many of the kids now, coming over here, it's like, yeah, mom used to pray when I was back home. But hey, I'm here now. Do I really need to pray that much anymore? Do I need to pray for power? Do I need to pray for witchcrafts? Do I need to pray against kidnappers? I remember when we were growing up, my dad, he was always praying. My dad was a prayer warrior in the home. Do I still pray as such? Not close. Of course, I still pray, but not the kind of prayer points he prayed. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense, but the thing is, it's not so much of the prayer points he's praying, but it's so much of the value and the importance of prayer.
Yes, of
Making prayer part of your lifestyle. For example, family that love to go to church, you find that some people impose it on the children, impose it on the family. Oh, for our family, Sunday is we don't negotiate. You have to show up in church, right? So some kids will do it as a way of demonstrating obedience, for example. But when they reach a time like me, all this, I'll go because of my parents. So, I don't believe in whatever they believe in. What I was talking about is the intentionality behind it.
Okay.
Why, and explaining to our children why we do what we do. So that when with our presence or in our absence, they will keep it going. For example, you saw your dad pray, right? If you had to ask that, why were you praying? You seem to pray a lot though. Is there any particular reasoning behind that?
Yeah, he
You
told
may
us.
think we are in Australia, so we don't need to worry about many things. No, every land has its own giants. Every land have its own giants. Maybe the giant in Africa might be this way, but there are giants here, clearly here in Australia. Now, if you don't develop this habit of praying, there are things that will come to you that you have no idea. You may think that, here is a land of opportunity. Everything you touch becomes gold and all that. No. There are other things here too. There are some giants here that your prayer is that the Lord who has protected you, brought you this far, will continue to take you through as you're fulfilling your purpose. And then your generation will not come. And even there are some families that have certain things running through the family. That location doesn't change anything. It's what it is because it's spiritual. And it still follows people. People are still dying even while they are in Australia because there are certain rituals haven't been performed the way it's supposed to be. And the generations don't seem to care because the custodian of it, the one that was paying attention to it is dead and nobody paying attention. Now, those things are spiritual stuff. And before you know it, people are dying earlier than they're supposed to. Or people are getting sick. All manner of things are happening with people. But then if some of these things are, our parents explain to us what to expect, what to do, why we do what we do, then the children will be able to say, for me, my family, I can't afford to drink, because if I dare drink alcohol, whatever that is chasing, people will start chasing me because I touch what I'm not supposed to touch. But what if you don't tell them, they don't know? They will just say, my friend just invited me. I went there. I was like this, peer pressure, a little bit, so I drank. And before you know it, there's floodgates of problems everywhere. And this child doesn't even know where it's coming from. It's easy to just normalize it and say, well, if you drink, what do you expect? No, some people, it triggers a whole lot of stuff for them, So for me, what I'm talking about is more of me being here, being intentional, have an objective as to why you are raising your children the way you are doing. What outcome are you looking for? Are you looking for the kind of outcome where when they reach independence, they are far from you? Or they will still see you as a friend, as a parent, even in their old age, as long as you are not dead. You can be 70. If your parents are 90, you are still their child. And that is what is important. But if the way you are raising them means when they get the opportunity, they are gone. It's called wasted years. You've wasted your time. It won't bring you any fulfillment. Your heart will be aching every time.
I'll shift gear a bit. From your experience, you're a marriage counselor by training. Yeah? Good. You've had conversations with various couples. I believe so. Why do you think marriage as a concept it's losing its appeal among young people?
There's a whole lot of things in there, because I would say because I've been working more with the migrants, Africans, so I think our understanding of what marriage is supposed to be coming over this side of the world, some of those things don't hold.
Things like
So, for example, I think this is clear, right? For example, we understand that in a marriage, the man is the head of the family, right? Part of the role the man is meant to play is, being the breadwinner, or maybe shouldering all the big responsibilities in the house, right? The woman is assisting where she can, but more of it is like helping raise the kids, attending to the home, mainly in most homes. Because things have changed, but in most homes, the expectation is that the mother does the cooking, and sort of settles the children and things like that, right? So this thing has always been. And most women were not as busy as we are today. You understand? So like people were so working, but you find that maybe the mom is like a teacher, a nurse, or something like that. So they're able to come and attend to some of these things. These days the dynamics are very different, but people are still stuck in the old mindset. I was talking to a few people, like some guys that I was having a chat with, and they said, "Oh, they are scared of the women of today." I said, "Why?" I said, "Oh, they are too everything. They are too much." It's like, you're not, one of them was like, "Oh, for me, I'm just scared of the girls of today." So I didn't have the time to unpack that with him, but I was like, the other guy was the one that was asking more questions. And I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Oh, they are too full of themselves. They have too many demands, so many expectations, and all those things." And I was like, "Really? Or is it you that is stuck in your old ways?"
could it be both ways though?
Yeah, because the point is, let's talk about 21st century, right?
Yeah.
If somebody is going to get married,
2026.
2026, there's the likelihood, if you're in Australia, there's a likelihood that this girl has finished either university or is working. Okay, let me put it this way. She's earning an income. She's already living by herself. She's not living with parents. She's living by herself. If she's working as hard, she's got her own car. Whether it's on finance or she's bought it outright, it doesn't matter. She's got all these things covered. Now, you are also working. You also got all these things. So everybody is well established, very independent. And then you're coming together. Now, where does the breadwinner fit? And where does the homemaker fit in this equation? Because you're going to work, I'm going to work, I'm assisting, you're assisting, we are all here. Who does the house stuff and who does anything else? Because everything is shared. People want to do 50-50, but then they forget that marriage is not 50-50. But I will put that on one side. Now that we have discovered that I am as independent as you, that then forces the couple to rediscover what the marriage is about.
Which is
What is the main reason why you need me in your life and I need you in my life? You need to be able to find out, why do I need you in my life? Why do you need me in your life? Because without my presence in your life, you're already living. Whether you eat Uber or you buy Uber or all these things, you have been surviving. So it's not like my presence is the one going to make the ultimate difference. However, if my presence in your life is going to make any difference, on what level? That's the kind of conversation people are supposed to be having. So that you tend to realize that it comes back to what God put together. If it's about companionship for friendship, if it's about care, loving and beloved, what does love look like? What is love? If it's about care, what does that care look like? So in this case, it's not like you are going to buy me a car and say happy birthday and I'm supposed to be jumping up and down because I'm very excited that I couldn't afford a car. You bought me a car. Because maybe that car is still living on finance because I can afford it. However, maybe my presence, just being around, making time to listen, maybe just going to shopping together, me pushing the trolley, you on the side, picking stuff, chit-chatting, is all that somebody may be looking for. Companion. Someone that I come home, I cook this delicious food. You see there, I'm sitting here, we are eating, we are chatting, I make money, you make money, not like we are in trouble or anything. We are just happy, just have somebody around chit-chatting. If these things are not discussed and are not discouraged. People are running by default. The next thing you know, we are married, but we are not engaged, because the point is, you wake up in the morning, you're going to work thinking you're going to find money for the family. She is thinking, I work, I will have money. I don't need no money. When I need to see you, I can't see you. When you need to see me, you need to, I'm gone. What does that marriage mean? What is that marriage in the first place?
For many of the guys, I understand the points you've just raised, which is very valid. But for many of the guys, I guess one of the reasons why they might be scared is still this same thing, where the lady's, in quotes, so powerful that the man loses control.
Good. And that is the point, control.
And vice versa. The lady is thinking, why would I be the one sitting at home taking care of the kids while you go and do your career and do all the things you want to be while I take care of the home? But in many cases, many of our parents, that's how they've been able to sustain their home. So can we not go back to the defaults?
No.
But that's the only way, well, that's not the only way per se, but help me, please.
That one, we can't go back to that because, going back to that system hadn't worked, even in time
But what
past.
to our parents?
That's what you may think. Some of them,
But they were together, they lived well.
they have held on because they had children and they felt like, I've already got the children here, where to from here? There's no point, when I saw hang here. That doesn't necessarily mean they're happy. No, some people have just, it's like, I was watching this show that said marriage is like a rainbow. You go through seasons, different colors. You get to that point where you find that there are some couples, they've been together for many years, but they stop having sex maybe when they reach their 20th year in the marriage. So now they are like, yes, you are here like siblings, like friends. We just talk, we chat, we do, but nothing else in between. Whatever you do with yourself, that's your business. For me, I invest my time in my children. And then the children grow, they get married. When they start having children, the woman is busy. I'm attending to my grandkids. She occupies herself with all kinds of things. So her focus is not so much on what you can give her or what you are doing. And we find some of these men, even at 70 now, they are looking for young girls because something is missing. But then they still hold on as if they are living together and all those things. And the spiritual ones, they use Christianity as a cover up to cover the face nicely, and then they're staying behind it, giving all these appearances. There's no honesty in there. But we know all these things, but we don't talk about it. That's what I was saying. There are too many secrecy. Our parents don't tell a lot of things when you're going into marriage. They just usher you in, go and figure it out. Oh yes, because there's so much. They just chunk you in. I have had conversations with couples. Most of them have never witnessed their parents demonstrate affection towards each other. In terms of holding hands, kissing, hugging, all these things. It's like, for them, all we know is that they keep having their children, but as to what they do, nobody talks about it. I think most of them is true. So the point is, that system has never worked and it will never work because that was time when the men were the breadwinners and the women were the homemakers. When something happened to this man, the woman and all the children suffered. Now that system has changed. The woman has learned. No. This man cannot be the breadwinner. He needs God is bringing you here as a helper. What do you mean? He needs to carry all the load? No, it doesn't work that way.
But
God will help.
But in many, I'm being the devil's advocate here. Yes, the ladies want to work.
They want to help.
They want to help. The guys, their fear often isn't that the lady wants to help. Is, how do I put this right? I don't sound arrogant.
No, it's fine.
I don't get dragged to mess with me. So yeah, the guys are not necessarily scared because the lady wants to work, or she really. But the money she earns, I've heard many guys say to themselves, and to the ladies, you're working, but I can't see this money. So I work, I bring this money, obviously it's our money.
Yeah.
But then when you work, I don't get to see this money. And I've heard that many times.
Yeah.
So what is then the essence of the lady working when that money doesn't come into the family purse?
Oh, but it depends. So the foundation of every marriage is different. And what I know from a lot of women...
But this is an issue though.
It is, but from a woman's perspective, you see, the woman, one of the things you shouldn't forget is that when you ask a woman to be with you, She has the option to say yes or no, right? When she says yes, there's a level of trusting that comes with it. So she's going to walk with you with her whole heart and follow you, right? A woman starts making changes when certain things haven't been going well. And she's beginning to suspect that no, if I don't look after myself, or if I don't put something aside for myself, I may be very disappointed along the way. Because the way I see it, especially when things are happening and she starts to bring your mind, you don't want to talk about it. I've heard some men like, oh, I work hard, I earned it, I can give to whoever I want. So she's there, she's thinking like, oh, we need to do the, but I say, oh, no, I need to build this house for my mom, I need to build this one for my brother, I need to pay my brother's mortgage, I need to do this one here. And there's no discussion as to how we are managing the family money. You understand? There's an expectation that you work, so you should be all right. Even if I send this amount of money out, you're not going to struggle. Let's help other people. It's fine, help people. But what I'm trying to say is, when you're talking about the two becoming one as a couple, everything has to be put on the table for discussion. Then we design a way in which we want to live. When these things don't happen, it becomes like, oh, it's this thing and I will decide what I do with mine. Over time, she too will not come into this bracket of, oh, me, I don't want conflict. That is why I do my own thing on the side as well, just to protect my own self. So there's no smoke without fire. People don't just get up and start changing or doing things unless something triggers that. So if we want to curb these things, everything has to be talked about. Everything has to be discussed. Because I was watching this video of a lady that was sharing that these days, men are happy to see their wives work. And then they want to bring them and they'll be like, oh, let's do 50-50.
Yeah, so I take that again. I didn't get that.
Some men are happy that their wives are working, right? Yeah. Their wives earn money, they earn money. They want to do 50-50 with them in terms of, oh, I pay mortgage, you pay the bills. However, there are so many other things in between that is still expected that the woman should handle. So there are little things, school stuff, all these kids things that come along. Maybe the children need this, I have to buy this, buy that, all those things. I don't come and tell you, oh, I need money to buy the kids panties or socks or whatever. She's doing all this extra stuff, right? Then there's buying food stuff for the house, or there's the cooking, there's the cleaning, or even ensuring the house is clean and all those things. These are extra stuff that she's doing.
I'll ask you a question.
Can you do 50-50 with your wife? It's not advisable.
What is 50-50?
Yes.
And what is the alternative?
No, so 50-50 is where
you take care of this son.
When it comes to money,
yeah,
people want to say, this is my part of the responsibility, this is your part. I am paying mortgage, you pay the bills.
Okay.
And we don't cross over. So if she come and say, oh, honey, can you put maybe some $200 in the account because we need to pay this bill? Oh, no, that's your responsibility.
Okay.
You deal with that.
So how best can we handle that? No, nothing that, the bills should be shared. I mean, should we have a joint account that everything goes from?
That is what most people are doing. So they have the one common account, joint account, where everybody puts a certain amount of money in there based on, as we have sat down, we have seen the family budget, we know all the things we're dealing with. We know all the incomes that we make, right? You need some money for yourself, I need some money for myself. If you want to bless somebody, go ahead and do it, but not at the expense of the family and the family commitment. So if you can put some money in this account here, everything direct debits from here, so we all can see it. Mortgage goes out, we see electricity go, this go. If students need maybe lunch order or whatever, it goes from here, you see that it's happening. There's transparency, everybody is happy. Whatever you do with the rest of your money, if you are going to have a family savings, that money too has been put there, right? You know that, we have agreed that at the end of every fortnight when they are paid and our pay, we are doing susu, so we are sending $500 for the susu, or we are putting this in this investment account. The bottom line is, if you're going to say we are married, don't forget that it's two strangers coming together to form that marriage. I wasn't raised by your parents, and you were not raised by my parents. We are very different. However, we are going to intentionally stay together. So most things you are going to do has to come from intention. We are going to intentionally stay together as one. In marriage, two things are very important: the intentionality part of it and the curiosity part of it. Why do you do the things you do, and why do you do them that way? I need to find out, because I don't know how you got to this point where it's like you're scared of everybody. I need to know, because I'm going to be in your life. There should be some intentionality as to, I'm loving you intentionally. When I go out, I must remember that I have Emmanuel in my house waiting for me. I can't take that for granted and say, oh, yeah, he's my husband, he will always be there. No, I must check on him and say, oh, sorry, I'll be a little bit late, but how are you? How's your own day going? Because we were strangers, love has brought us together. To sustain that love, we have to be intentional about it.
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
What's your view on prenup?
On
Prenup.
Oh, personally, I don't believe in that.
Is that faith-based or just a personal view?
Because of my understanding of what marriage is supposed to be.
So,
Because the moment you start to now say, oh, I had all these things before I found you, I met you. So these ones are not included in anything. what me and you are going to achieve is
afterwards.
That in itself, you've already brought division. You've already brought division because if you have acquired all these things for yourself and you're telling me you are starting from here, it's like a business transaction.
It's marriage, not business, though.
My goal is going to be, okay, how much can I also acquire for my own self? I don't want to stay in this relationship and cheat myself at the end of it. No. What if, because you have got all these things, now you don't put so much effort here because you know it costs you nothing?
Is marriage a business transaction?
It's not.
But it sounds like it is.
People are making it, but that is not how God designed it.
There's always this argument about, was marriage actually designed by God?
Yes.
Or human interaction?
No, God designed it.
Marriage. So
Yes.
It's not a business transaction?
No, it can never be.
So then, prenup.
It's not from God. It's not from God, and it's not part of God's purpose for marriage.
But there's nowhere in the Bible where the Bible mentioned prenup, though.
No, but Bible talks about, and the two shall become one. When we explore that, what it means to become one, the Bible says, and they were naked but not ashamed.
I had a guest, sorry,
That's fine.
I had a guest come through one of our last conversations and talked about divorce. And the question I asked him was his view on divorce and stuff that obviously he's a Christian as well. So whilst the Bible frowns against divorce, due to the hardness of our hearts,
Moses
it
allowed us to
allowed
divorce.
us. Good. Now, if we take that same view on prenup, whilst many people frown against that, could it be because of the times we're in that prenup is not looking very attractive because a lot of people are opting for it?
That is not marriage. That's what I'm saying. That is transaction. That's business. In that case, we are all in for what we can get. So as I'm in the marriage, I'm after my own happiness, and you're after your own happiness.
But when we go into marriage, apart from the love and the butterflies and everything, you won't marry someone that isn't doing anything, someone that hasn't built stuff for himself.
No, but we are meant to be working it together. Working it together. So we are all putting our resources together to create something that doesn't exist, but we are going to create it to make it to exist. For example, two strangers come together, right? Then you start to have children. Those children, they were not existing.
Yeah.
Now you are bringing them here. A part of them look like both of you. Yeah. So you are creating something. So you got the foundation, which is the two of you. Whatever you have laid, you're not going to build on it with this child, and then your genealogy is forming, and the legacy you want to put across is forming. All your hard work in life, you don't want to die and leave them to a cat, or just it's wasted. You want to pass them on to someone. Who is that someone? That is your children, right? But then somebody is going to help you to build these things. That's why personally I have problem with people that can say, oh, he's my partner, we are dating 6 years, 4 years, 5 years, and there's no set plan of getting married. It's called you're wasting the person's time. Imagine, put it in context. If that 5 years of being together, if you had one child, that child is talking and calling mom, dad, is speaking English. Yes, but that, at least, even if that relationship to break or something should happen to it, right? You can go and say, oh, at least in my whole life, I brought one child to this life that I can pass on my life experience with this child, and I hope that it will help them to also make some choices or decisions as they grow. Posterity continues. But then you're in this relationship for this long years with no set plan, no goal whatsoever. Everybody is still working, thinking, when I wake up one morning and I'm done, I'm out of here, it's easy for me to walk out. There's no commitment. Nobody wants to feel like they're being used. So it's like you have left the gate open. When it doesn't work for you, you are out. As long as it's working for you, you stay. That is, marriage will challenge you, so you must close that gate, and we all stay in there and deal with it.
We talked about the environment we live in as a factor in all of this. I'm going back to this prenup and all of all this stuff because for many of us, I didn't even know what prenup was like until Australia, to be honest. And so coming in here, I didn't realize actually there's something. I mean, it's not like I made all the money I'm doing for. I wouldn't have signed it anyway because I didn't have any people not married. But yeah, coming over here, you then realize that it is a thing, and people are really taking advantage of it because of what they've seen, they've heard, they've been told, they've been advised.
Okay.
All right. Why we all go into marriage, or why people go into marriage believing that it would work? Well, no, it's not. There's no guarantee. Especially if one person is willing and another person isn't willing to make it work.
That's the thing. And that's why we don't have marriage then. It's a business transaction. So if you're going to operate on a transactional basis, then you have to put the terms properly.
So prenup is then.
Yeah, you set the terms. So everybody, it's just like, and sometimes I just laugh too much when I hear certain stories, right? Like somebody will be like, oh, I've been going out with this person for this number of years. We even got children together, my baby mom, or is this and that. But then they can have the confidence to say, I found her cheating. I say, what? Well, where is the cheating? Is your baby mom? Yes, you live together. Are you married? No. Why is she cheating? If you want that woman, you marry her, then you can put a claim on her to say she's mine. The same way, some people go out there, they say, tell other people, oh, I'm not married. It's only my baby mom. That means I'm allowed to find another woman and do whatever I believe, and I have no guilt because I'm not married. So it's the same way. That's what I'm saying. You leave the gate open. You just put the terms so we know what we're dealing with. Marriage is an investment. When you go home, take your wedding photo, look at it, and look at your current photo. Put it side by side and see how you have grown over time. You understand? Imagine taking somebody's child is with you. They are going to spend all these years with you. They are growing with you. They are aging a long time. There are certain parts of our development as God has made us. We are all going to age. Aging to a certain point comes with certain things. Health-wise, you're not going to be as fit as you have always been. So if somebody is going to spend their 10 years of their life with you, 20 years, 15 years of their life with you, what do you mean by prenup? So it should be wasted years? For some people, just because they already acquired these things, they don't put much effort here. It's like I'm just playing, I'm just having fun. In the end, if it doesn't go well, I lose nothing. You're the one that loses everything. If this is the mindset, what do you think the other party will be thinking? I have to protect myself. I'm not a fool.
Are there questions you believe we should be asking as young people before getting into marriage commitment? So if I meet a girl, so when I was single, and I meet a girl, part of our dating process, are there questions you think or you believe should be asked? And if you think there are questions that need to be asked, what are those questions?
Like when you meet someone, the questions you should ask.
So I say this because, I've got a younger brother that's still trying to figure his life around, marriage and stuff like that. And I say to him always, I think you're making a big mistake. You're looking at the wrong things. And you're not asking the right questions. So if you want to get hooked to somebody, I want to take you serious. Yeah, beautiful piece. You've got front and back. Wonderful. Now, what should I be asking you to get you to tell me what I want to hear, to know you better? So if I'm having conversations with you, what are the key questions I want to ask in order to get you to reveal who you are to me?
Wow. That's it. I don't know how to answer that question because, see, my understanding of marriage, right, is that because the man is going to be the head of that relationship, right, or the marriage, what he is up to matters the most.
What is what?
What he is up to.
Yeah.
His vision, his goal, where he's going in the first place matters. Most women, it doesn't matter who they are. They could be CEOs of big companies. They are happy to submit to a guy who is focused, who has a vision, who is trying to achieve something. They will put all their resources behind this person to achieve it. You understand? But where you seem like you yourself were lost. So then her position will intimidate you because you feel like, oh, this woman seems she's too vocal. She knows she seems to be this. But when you have discovered who you are, what you are trying to achieve, where you are going, finding a helper to join you to achieve it is easier, because in that case she's going to ask the questions. She just wants to observe you and see, yes, you may have interest in her. She also has to go and say, can I submit to this man? Where is he going in the first place before I start
So what kind of
following?
questions should she be asking the man then in this case?
As a girl,
Yeah.
well, I would say, where are you going? What is your vision in life?
Okay, let's
What
start.
is your
First will be,
goal?
what are you
Yeah.
going? Where are you
Where are
going?
you going? What is your vision? What are you hoping to achieve in this life? What do you do? You know, where do you work? Are you studying? Have you got a business? What are you up to? Because I'm coming to help. I need to know what I'm helping, right? Are you sort of, I think these days, even where you live doesn't matter, because even if you don't live anywhere, I live somewhere, it doesn't really matter. But I feel like the major thing is discovering that vision, where the man is going. A lot of men actually haven't discovered that. They just know that I have grown, I want a woman, but they don't know why they want a woman. And that question has to be answered. Why do you want a woman in your life? Are you wanting a woman because you feel like your mom is not there, she should come and do your cooking? Are you because you're leaving home now, you need someone to do your laundry, come and clean your house? If those are the reasons why you want to be with a woman, the woman too is coming to ask the question like, oh no. Because if you are going to go to work, I'm also going to go to work. You can't leave these things for me, this task for me to be the only one to do it. You get the point?
Now, what should the man be asking the woman?
Oh, well,
Just
Let me-
to be sure
that she's the right person.
she's the right person to help him accomplish the vision he has for life.
I mean, there are so many conversations you can have. Personally, I believe as you are working together, right, as you are trying to know the person, you can talk a lot of things, but so many things will come up by themselves if you know what you're looking out for. So, for example, there's certain things you don't need to ask. People can lie.
Yeah, of course.
But as you are working together, for example, if I say I'm coming to visit your house, I'm coming to visit you. I'm coming not just to come and sit for you to give me food to eat and all. Food is good. If you just serve me food, I can say, oh, she can cook. I'm also observing the environment to see whether you're a clean person or a dirty person. I don't need to ask you, are you clean? I don't need to ask you, do you work? I don't need to ask those questions. Over time, all these things will be revealed, because people, you can write all the 1,000 questions, they can give you fancy answers. And people don't even observe anymore because they think, oh, but she told me this, but she told me this. No, it's not about telling. It's about observing. In a courtship or in dating, is work. You're supposed to be working, not doing lovey-lovey, no. You're supposed to be watching, like making sure. How does she express herself in public? How does she dress herself? Like when I say, oh, we are going out, how does she present? You're observing, you're not asking questions, you're presenting. And if she's dressing in all this provocative way, trying to probably please you with have the boobs out, have this one, then you want to ask the question like, oh, this your dress is not bad, but I'm just curious as to, don't you feel cold? Like, why do you feel all these things? Find a way to address it and see what she will say. Oh, this is just how I like to dress. Then you know that, can I afford it?
Maybe if you like seeing it like, won't you?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
If you like it, that's not a problem. But if you don't like it and it seems to be like, if I take this to meet my family or somebody, I think they're going to question it.
I guess some men could be you like it before while you're dating, and then when you now get married, you now don't like it anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying. So in the dating process, right?
Yeah.
If you like it, if you like, there are many things you may like. Your parents don't know that you like that, right? And so at home, I don't mind you wearing all these things for my consumption. I like it. But when I say dress up, let's go out. Now we are going to the public space. These are my stuff I want to enjoy in private. You're going to put it out in the market. If you're happy for it to be displayed in the market, then there's no problem. But if you begin to think like, if my elder brother see this, or if my mom should see this, they're going to have all this mindset about my wife, but she's not like that. It's just that she dressed like me. Then find a way to bring it up into a conversation. See her philosophy behind why she dressed the way she does. And see if she will accept, I won't call it correction, but she will accept your suggestion of, oh, when we are going out, can you, just keep all these things for me. When I'm home, I don't mind. But when we are going out, I don't like my private stuff to be out. And see her response. If I response, oh, no, you can't tell me what to do. Then you know that there's going to be a challenge. Because in the marriage life, the things will come up where we need to dialogue and make changes, make adjustment. How willing is the person? And it goes both ways. Even some men, you'll be telling the man, oh, this is your hair, this is your beard, all these things. If you can trim it down a little bit, that'll be really, oh, no, that's my African look. I'm not doing anything about it. That one is a no-go area. Then you know that, okay, I have to respect that. In this marriage that we're going into, you walk your way, I walk my way. There's certain things I can't talk about.
I've enjoyed this conversation.
You know,
Dating. Okay, I'll leave that one. I'll come to premarital sex. So many people do argue that part of the dating should include sex.
Okay.
Because you want to know if this guy can actually do what he says he can do. And we had a meeting a couple some days ago, Valentine stuff, and so I was like, look, would it be right for me to request for maternity test? Is it maternity test? So is it maternity test?
Yeah, paternity test.
Not paternity, fertility
Oh, fertility. Okay.
test for the lady before I commit. What's your take on that? First we talked premarital, and then I talked about fertility.
I don't believe in premarital sex
Okay.
because, look, when you go to the shop, let's say you're going to buy this cup.
Yeah.
On what level will you be able to take this cup home? How can you take this cup home? Two things: either you pay for it, you take it home, or you put it on lay-by and make a deposit. You won't finish paying. You take it, you finish paying. But when you put it on lay-by, you make the deposit, you start paying. You have a certain amount of days where either you return it or then you forfeit it, right? You can't just say, oh, I found this thing in the market, I like it, I take it, I'm just going to use it, and then, oh, no, I didn't like it, and I'm just bringing it back to the shop to collect full refund. There's something that they'll even tell you there's no refund, exchange, only exchange, no refund. You understand? Now, you're going to marry someone. For me, I tell people, if marriage is on your cards, sex shouldn't be one of the things that is running through your head at that stage during dating. Because what are the chances that we'll end up at that marriage goal? Because if everything I need to pay for, I get it for free, who wants to spend money?
The argument is, in many cases, either the guy impotent or might not be able to please the lady sexually, and of course vice versa as well. And for many people, it's part of the things they need to check for before getting into this union.
Look, for me,
Because there's no guarantee once you get into the union, is it?
No, but what I would recommend, which I've been recommending since I came to Australia, why don't the two of you, if you're really considering marriage, go through counseling, okay? Go to premarital counseling. In counseling, a lot of things come up for discussion. Everything has to be reviewed. And even to the point where, like, if you come to my premarital counseling, there's a part where I give you the option. I don't force people, but I'll tell you, if you like, you have to go and do blood test. Okay, know your blood type. So if you are two AS people are going to get married, you know that in future you are spelling problem. The chances of you having an SS child is high. If your love is very strong and you still want to go that path, at least you do it with your eyes wide open, with all the possible things that can happen. You don't turn around and say witches are eating my children because they are dying early. Because you understand that your blood type, this is what it is. You got the chances of either AA child, AS or SS, right? So you do all these things. In some churches, they'll even say the woman should do pregnancy test and all this, HIV, all this. They will check all this for you because you can't go into the marriage blind. Everything has to be talked about.
So if they do HIV test and other stuff, why wouldn't they do fertility test?
I mean, fertility is something, let's say, for example, if you haven't had children before, I haven't had children before, right? Or I haven't had sex before even. Why is it important that I do fertility test? I haven't had child before. I haven't been with any other man before. If you are a guy, you haven't been with any other woman before, even if you have, right? And then you have, I haven't. Why is fertility this so important?
To be sure if the person you're going into a relationship with be able to
So that
conceive.
means you are going into the marriage purely to have children.
It's part of it, isn't it?
It's part of it, but should that be the only goal, though?
It's just like you're saying, they'll do HIV tests, they do blood tests, and just determine their blood group and all those. So if we're going to go out to do all of these tests, why not we then add fertility test to it? Because, I mean, if I trust that if we've got trust for each other, I trust you don't have any disease I would potentially take on, and vice versa, and things like that. So I could have just paid, blind eyes to those and just go into it blindly as well and believe that my partner is okay, I'm okay, and then we just go. Same with the blood group, checking for blood group. Those are all
it's just
due diligence, isn't it?
Yeah, put your mind at rest,
Yeah.
so you don't have
So then if we're
surprises.
saying that, why won't it then add fertility testing? That's just the argument. Right
No,
now.
but
Yeah.
you if you want to, you can. I don't see anything wrong with it. However, it is marriage, having children in marriage, right? It's an addition. That's not the main goal of the marriage, though.
For many people, that's a deal
Because
breaker.
at the end of the day, think about it. Like I said from the beginning, the children that we have, they're not ours. We are raising them for them to also go and form their own life. They will still live us anyway. There are people that don't have their own biological children, but they have adopted some children and they have raised them like their own. And those children are still performing the role that if they were their biological children, they will play. They still call mom, checking on you, your birthday, we're trying to do this for you because of how you have raised that child, right? So, but the companionship that is very important, for which God put two together and said it's not good for the man to be alone. When the children leave, you need that companion, because at 60, at 65, to find yourself being alone, that's another level.
What's the biggest stretch to marriage?
Biggest threat to marriage, in terms of it's not working or something. Oh,
Anything? Is there a stretch you see?
well, at the moment I see that there's a lot of well, probably from what you say because I'm a Christian, but aside the Christian side of things, if you want to call nature, how God have designed things, right? My fear is that there's a lot of human reasoning and philosophy creeping into marriage, for which is losing its base. You see, so like you're saying, it's not appealing to many people, but marriage is a very good thing as God put together. And if we understand how it's supposed to be, how we're supposed to go into it, how we're supposed to manage it, right? And the sad thing is, this one I'm just saying it because it just came to my mind. I nearly missed it when we're talking about all this other stuff about culture, marriage, and all those things. Forgive me to say, but I may be exaggerating here, but I find that a lot of our African men are stuck when it comes to learning quickly, and sort of adjusting to new things. It becomes very challenging. They're very comfortable in one place. Have you heard that people say African men are not romantic? Have you heard those things before? And that's what I said, what is romance in the first place? Why is it so hard? What is in it that makes it so hard that people should make this blanket statement like, oh, African men are not romantic? Is it because they are refusing to learn? Why is it so hard? What is there to learn? To walk and say, oh, I'm picking a flower for my wife. Or to say, oh, I'm just texting to say, hey, I love you. Or to say, hey, come for, like, let me give you a hug or a cuddle or like a kiss or something. Why is it so hard for our men to learn some of these things? To just say, well, look, I just want us to just walk along the beach, hold hands, just be. Why is it so hard that everything has to be so rigid and tough? I'm the man, I don't do this, this is not my thing. But our African men have been branded or labeled as sex monsters or whatever English people call it. Sometimes it hurts to hear these things. And the reality that people want to paint for us to believe is that our African men love sex. Fine, if they do. But then they say they are not romantic. What does it mean? What is there to learn? What is there that makes it so hard?
So what's it about the statement that is true or false?
All of them hold in a certain space, because there are those the people I have heard, right, about people that they want the sex as many or as often as they want to have it, but they don't do anything before that. They just want the action, but they don't do anything prior to that. No foreplay, no nothing. They can go the whole day. They will not prepare your mind. They don't even bother to know how the woman function. A lot of men don't know how women function. It's hard to even get them into that space Only few of them have actually taken the time to learn to know.
How do we learn this thing?
Well, I mean, learning is learning now.
Yeah, let's learn. How do we learn this thing?
See, these days, even ChatGPT will help you. Even Google. I was telling someone, I said, let's say you don't have words. You're a man of few words, you understand. But where you are going to, the words you speak matter. You have daughters. They want to hear things. If you lack words, go and put on ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Oh, I want to say something nice to my daughters or something nice to my wife. What do I say?
When she finds out that you use ChatGPT, you know that is a problem with it.
No. But, I mean, you can do and delete it now. Or go to Google.
Is it
or something.
I'll tell you, someone says, my husband sends me, he can't even compose a message. He's sending me a message he composed from ChatGPT. And in my head, I was like, at least he did say he tried.
He's putting effort. Yes.
But that was a problem.
No, but
For this person.
I don't think it was a problem. Paris is just surprised that hey,
No,
all of a
it was a
sudden,
problem.
It was a problem.
It was a problem.
We are encouraging these men to put effort because one of the things that work for a lot of women as God have made us is the statement that comes from your man. What you say to your wife. The Bible says when Adam saw Eve, he said, this is the bone of my bone, the flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman. You understand? The acceptance, the acknowledgement, receiving her into his world means a lot. This woman is in your space. You wake up every morning, you see this one, you have nothing to say? Like, oh, I know my wife is home. Yeah, she knows she's also there. What else can you say? Oh, man, a man of few words. Really? And her ears want to hear things. But a lot of people don't put value on these words of affirmation. They don't put value on it. They don't even learn to know how to really get this woman excited. And a lot of men think they have to come up with big present to make the woman happy. Typical women want little things. They still want to be that girl. Really.
I want to say this. I think that's subjective. That can be. That can be a part of arguments.
So many generalizations here.
Jesus help us. For many people, you know, just in the first for men, because I'm a man here, all right?
It's fine.
You know, for many men, oftentimes, you know, what they really want to, the pressure. Sometimes that's the least you're thinking. I asking yourself, well, can this lady understand that the bills they never stop coming? I'll have to think of how to clear these bills. The first one thinking about to tell you all the street words you. Anyway, that's just by the way. Someone said something, and it was in your church many years ago. One of the events you had, and the lady said, or the man, a question came, and the guy said, ladies, they will always wait for the man. Can they not come for this thing? Must the man always be the one approaching the woman for sex? Can it not be the other way? And that argument was, this is African men are not romantic. African women, they always wait to the man to come.
We haven't been raised that way.
So how do we learn? I asked you this question earlier. Where do we learn these things from? You said ChatGPT. I don't think that's where you said to learn these things from.
That is why we are doing some of these forums are very important. And
tell
workshops.
us, where, how do we learn this thing? We're here now.
No, so the point is, they start with acknowledging what is
There's
missing.
a problem, okay.
Then we now look for solution, right? As to how we can deal with it. So the area where you feel there's a gap, then you research as to how you can. Like I said, even once you set your mind to search for the solution to whatever the issue is, these days there's information everywhere. There are so many videos on YouTube. There's on TikTok. There's all these things. Then there are also organized workshops that even some churches are organizing for their people, the couples programs and things where some of these things are talked about so freely. Because the same thing about the culture, a woman is not raised to go and ask the man for sex. It makes you cheap. That is what we have been brought to believe. Until you grew up and realize that, no, there are days where you want it, he is not ready, you have to go and call him. And say, look, hey, make sure you come home early. And then you'll be like, oh, why did something happen? Because even him is not expecting you to be thinking anything else. We always say, oh, no, I just got something special for you. You see how you come so quickly. But these things are things we're teaching the couples these days to say. Don't wait for him. Call him. Because when a man is called, he gets excited. However, Usually, the woman is expecting the man to be the one to do the calling, right? But how do you do the calling? Some people just wait until the woman has gone to the whole day and she's returning to bed. Is when they're calling. You call a woman that way, you won't get the best out of her because mentally she's not prepared. You're talking about bills and all these other things you need to look at. That's why I was telling you, if you're going to be married, right, we are one. Everything that is coming into the marriage is for both of us. We are in it intentionally. I know that is why if the mind is not set right, it's easy to go out in the separate ways so easily. Because we remember we were strangers. Then love and other things brought us together. If you don't intentionally hold it there, the chances are we can still go apart, and before we know it, there's nothing here. Because when I met you, there was nothing. And then something developed. But then now whoever has to fan the flame for it to continue to, to ablaze has stopped fanning. So the fire is dying and it's dying and it's dying and it's dead. And some people will just say, oh, we just grew apart. How? Because nobody was working on the marriage intentionally. It has to be intentional. And so if we are both dealing with the bills, we are all dealing with the stresses, the obstacles, the everything, you will find that one of the comfort place a couple can run to is sex. Because then at the end of the day, you talk about all that you're going through, and I better forget that one. You know, you're still very beautiful. I still got you, still got me, man. We will deal with this thing here. Today. And you can shift the conversation very easily. Before you know, everybody is in the zone. You sleep it off. You wake up in the morning, problems are there, but both of us will deal with it. But when it's not like that, the chemistry is not intentional. You're not working it. It becomes your problem, my problem. I'm stressed and I'm tense. You are stressed, you are tense. So conversation is not sweet. Nothing is happening really. Like it's stale. And before you know it, there's no interest in the union. And then that's why I tell people, did you forget that you were once upon a time strangers? And you are slowly drifting back to stranger zone. But to stay married and stay together is an intentional process. When you found your wife, you called her. Even when she didn't want to give you a number, you still find a way to get that number. And you still call. Even when she didn't respond to a text immediately, you keep checking. Is she going to respond? Maybe I should just do as if I was flashing so she knows that I'm waiting to get a response. There are things you did intentionally to get a person's attention. Why have you stopped? If that was not necessary, why were you doing it? It's because this person wasn't paying attention, because you are still clearly a stranger. Now that we have moved from stranger zone and we are here, anything and everything we did intentionally has to continue. That is why people don't want to take the word of God, right? But God himself said, so shall a man leave his father and mother, cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one. Everybody live very easily. Becoming one flesh in terms of having sex, everybody can do it easy. You don't need to be in love to have sex. You don't need to feel sex is sex. It's an act. You do it. 5 minutes, everybody's done. We are out. The main work when it comes to marriage is cleaving. It's in that cleaving that a lot of people, because they're not focusing on the cleaving part, the marriage falls apart. Because in fact, living with your parents, you have already left your parents. Don't live with them. So living is not an issue. Sex, we can have it. But the cleaving, it said, and the two will cleave. They will unite. They become one. Imagine having these two cups and trying to fuse them together. There's going to be a whole lot of friction, a whole lot of things. It's in the cleaving we learn communication. It's in the cleaving we learn conflict and conflict management. It's in the cleaving we learn how to manage in-laws. It's in the cleaving we learn how to manage finances. It's in the cleaving that we learn how to prepare the marriage bed. Everything is in the cleaving because we are intentionally uniting. I don't know you, don't know me, but I love you, you love me. What does love look like? The Bible talks about in 1 Corinthians 13. What is love? Love is kind, love is patient, love is not proud, it's not boastful, it doesn't keep records of wrongs, all these things. So then, if I say I love you, I must put these things in practice. I must be patient with you. I must be curious as to why, every time I turn the light off at this time, Emmanuel will come and turn it on. I don't like it. When I'm sleeping, I want the light off. But then Emmanuel will always turn the light on. I shouldn't be upset. Love is patient. I must ask him curiosity in your cleaving. Hey, tell me, why do you need a light on again? Because me, when the light is on, I can't sleep. But it seemed to work for you. What is the thing? Is it like you get scared or something? But then we can talk about it. If you get scared, I'm here. Hold me. Know that somebody is here and sleep then. Or can we find other ways? Maybe we get a colorful light that is not too bright. So both of us get our needs met. So everything is embedded in your cleaving. If you don't invest in cleaving, and you are busy investing in the sex, what we're talking about, the premarital sex, you're investing in the sex, which doesn't need any effort. You are investing in the living, which you've already left. But you have left the greater part, and cleaving doesn't end. Cleaving is a lifelong process. I'll break it down for you. From the very first time you met your wife, you did some things intentionally to get her attention, to say yes to your proposal, to leave all whatever she was doing, leave her parents and follow you to Australia without even looking back. And now she's with you on this journey. Cleaving has to continue because as we go on the marriage life, children are going to come. Right. When a woman falls pregnant, a different learning. Her body is going to change. Your picture of beauty is going to change because she's going to look very different. If your picture of her is the first time you saw her, she has changed. Are you going to run away? No. You're going to learn to see another side of beauty. Now you're going to see beauty in pregnancy. That see this glorious baby we are bringing to this life. And look at how my wife has changed. But this is a different kind of beauty in comparison to the wedding photo. This is like she's glowing because there's a new life coming to this life, right? Then that season is an adjustment season. It's going to shift again. And then you come to here. Now we are raising kids, toddlers, all these walkie-talkies. You want to sleep. Before we could have sex everywhere. Now the kids are doing, yeah, we can't do it. A different kind of adjustment. So then in the cleaving process, even in this, how do we unite? Then we are working it. It's a lifelong process because all these things that I'm describing, you're also aging along. Right. Soon, your knee is hurting. Your back is hurting. Your shoulder is hurting. Your vision, you're starting to wear glasses. When I met you, you were not wearing glasses. Now you're wearing glasses. Ooh, I like you better without glasses. No, but I can't see without the glasses. So you have to get used to it. You have to adjust to it. My hair was black when you found me. Now at 40, my whole hair is white. Genetics, you can dye it all you want, but it will still come. Get used to it because it's part of the process. It means we've been here long. So there's going to be a whole lot of processes in between your living and your becoming one flesh. There's your cleaving. And at every junction, you must ask yourself, how are we uniting here? How are we sticking together? Down to when the children leave finally. Now you are old, I am old. You are holding a walking stick, I'm holding a walking stick. We still have to find out how we can still cleave and be together until death do we part. Because when we all reach that stage, it's only one thing we are waiting for, that you will be called and you exit, right? But you would have learned all these different ways of uniting. How do we unite here? How do we unite here? Some people don't put effort in the cleaving process. They are always looking at the becoming one flesh. And then anytime they do the sex, more children come, but they are not learning how to unite in the middle. I hold it.
Pastor Gladys.
I am passionate about marriage. I'll put it that way.
I know you are. Look, to be honest, I've loved this conversation from the beginning. If you notice, I didn't even go with what I wrote down. I was going to ask you. I just went with the flow. But it's been a fantastic conversation.
Wow.
Hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did.
I did too.
Hope it wasn't too much of a hot seat for you.
I was thinking, we didn't even talk about business.
No, it was good. I'll probably have to get you back and then we'll talk about the business part.
It's good.
Yeah, I'll schedule you afterwards to come back again and then we'll talk about business. But thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. Hope you had so much fun.
Oh, I did actually, because unpacking some of these things, it's all in your mind and everything. You get to tell few people here and there, but being able to even share that with you and your audience, it's
Thank you.
It's great.
Do you have any question for me?
What question would I ask you?
You don't have to. If there's none, that's fine.
Well, with all the questions that you were asking me, what is your own view of what you think marriage should be?
Okay. To be honest, oftentimes, our view of marriage can be greatly impacted by what you see online and the stories you hear. I've seen people go through a lot of things. I've heard stories, and these are not distant people, these are people really close to me. And sometimes, to be honest with you, I do. Why mine is God is helping us in my own family, we're doing well, But sometimes when you hear things happening, you ask yourself, what is really marriage? What is really happening? Why are people going through all of this? Why are people not sincere with the reasons for coming together? And so when you hear these things, you often then say to yourself, maybe prenup might be a better option. I've heard stories. I was just 2 weeks ago with a friend and he was sharing things with me. And I felt so much pity for him.
Wow.
So much pity for him. And I said to him, bro, I think you stayed too long. And this is me unknowingly encouraging him to have left his family, his marriage rather, based on what he's been going through.
Wow.
And this is conversation we've been having since 2021, 2022. It only ended late last year.
Wow.
And I'm saying to him, you stayed too long. So hearing these things, sometimes it breaks me, to be honest. If your marriage is still the same, I'm a Christian, and it's shaped by what the Bible says marriage is. But what the guest I had the last time said about divorce, while we believe that divorce is not an option for us as Christians, because of the hardness of our hearts, it was permitted. And so when people say to me they don't want to get married, even though I don't go and say you should get married or you shouldn't get married, I just whatever you want to do, just do it. It's your life. I will not tell you to go into anything. If you're not sure yet, you're not convinced, that's fine. Whenever you're ready. In the past, I used to say, oh, get. But now I'm like, bro, take all the time you want.
No, well, I see that's another thing.
Yeah.
That's to start to chip in there, but that's one of those things also that is fueling all these infertility issues. You see, a woman as God has designed us have a set amount of eggs that we can have children, right? Now, the healthier ones, where they start to say that people should go and start having children at a tender age, that's not the point. God knows you need to develop to a point, right? But to leave it to last stages means that these days you can freeze your eggs, you can do all those things, but it comes with a lot of hassle, money, frustration, all those things. So if you have an opportunity to avoid it, then you want to take that. If you have an opportunity, if the opportunity is not there, that's fine. But if the opportunity is there, then you want to take that opportunity. The same thing with the men. Before we didn't think, when we think of infertility, we are always looking at the women. Want to realize that some men are actually infertile. They seem to, but there's nothing inside. It's just fluid. There's nothing inside that can, But then just because they're able to ejaculate, they think the woman is the infertile one. And thank God for science. Now we get to know all these things. So if there's a way in which, as a young person, you can plan your life in such a way that you put value where value is. This thing of I want to work my career before I do this. I want pushing all the natural stuff at the bottom and all the artificial stuff. That's what I did. Artificial stuff, which is people still go back to school at 50. You can always catch up to school. KFC apparently opened his business at 60. And he's still doing very well. So as far as career and all these things are concerned, you can catch up to them. But the natural stuff where you have not much of a control, if you leave it to the latter stages, it means it's going to bring a lot of hassle because it's like you're fighting nature. You understand? And you ask yourself then, what is the point? I always tell people, I said, if you have at the back of your mind that in future, I would like to have my own children, have my own family, settled and do things, then plan your life in such a way that you do these things at the glorious time of your life. You are fit, you are healthy, you are energetic, get it out of the way. Then go about and do whatever. If you want to travel the whole world, go ahead. Who said don't? If you want to find out the money and the sun, go ahead. Nobody said don't. But don't leave the things you don't control to the latter stages.
Okay.
But then, for me personally, one of the things that motivated me to go into counseling was so I'll be able to present that to my people. Because a lot of Africans don't pursue counseling. when they're having challenges in their home, because where we are coming from is either parents will have to counsel, the pastor has to counsel, or things like that. People are not used to going to therapy, going to, in Australia, as part of the systems here, people know they are psychologists, they are chiro, they are all these things that they do to
Specialists.
help themselves. Why do we come here? We're working as hard as they are, or maybe we're working as hard, battling all the giants and all the things on this land here. Yet, all these things, systems that have been put in place to help us, we don't harness them. So you're watching, you know that you're dealing with some mental stuff. Your wife is expressing some emotional something. You too, you're also having something on the side. Yes, you say, oh, we are praying about this. Oh, we are talking to the pastor. Oh, we have that. No, go the extra mile. Take your wife. If the marriage is important to you, go and seek counsel. Go for counseling. Somebody will sit, a neutral person will sit and listen to both of you and help you to discover where you are missing the mark. And put effort to work on it, because all of us have the capacity to change. We all, except we are also stubborn that we can choose not to. But sometimes with a good counsel, you'll be able to sort of find your way back to, wherever you got lost. You know what I mean? But when we don't give those things a chance and we leave everything to last minute, it becomes like too much water have gone under the bridge. I just don't want to be here. That's just it. And
Thank you.
you have to allow it to go, because you living your purpose or fulfilling your purpose is more important to God than you being in one kind of marriage and dying early and coming to meet him when he hasn't called you. What's the point?
I think we'll have to end it on that note.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Pastor Gladys.
You are
You have a
most
wonderful evening.
welcome.